In this chapter, let's talk about what your baby will look like and what type of procedures they'll do on your baby in your birth facility. When your baby is first born, your little one is going to be placed on your chest immediately after birth and dried off. This is one of the best moments in life. The first few minutes that you get to hold your little one and see them for the first time on the outside, it's such a beautiful, emotional moment seeing your baby and looking into your baby's eyes for the first time. You should be aware, though, that your brand new baby doesn't usually look the way you would have expected, like those newborn babies on TV. Honestly, your baby's more likely to look like an alien baby than your own baby. You may notice some characteristics that surprise you about your little one. I'll tell you, my own son, when he was born with had his hand on his face when he was born, which this caused his nose to be pretty swollen and kind of crooked looking. So when they handed me my baby and he is so beautiful and so cute and so lovely, I couldn't help but notice how huge his nose was. And I kept thinking, oh my word, does he get this from my husband's side of the family? Later on, an hour or so later, my husband's holding the baby and he's looking at the baby, he's looking at me, he's looking at the baby, looking at me. And he just comes out and says, he must have gotten that nose from your side of the family. And I said, no way. We had a good laugh about it, but our healthcare provider told us, don't worry, it's just what happened in birth. And the swelling would go down. And sure enough, he has a normal nose now. But it was just an unexpected characteristic that we weren't expecting when he was first born. All babies are special and beautiful, but knowing what to expect will help you to understand those unique issues that newborns often have when they're first born. Okay, let's start at the head. The shape of your baby's head's gonna be more egg-shaped or pointed or flat. Most babies don't have that nice round shape when they're first born. This is because the plates of your baby's skull bones are not fused together at birth. This allows their head to mold and shape to that birth canal, as well as allows your baby's brain to grow and develop after birth. So just put a cute hat on that newborn head and it'll go back to that nice round shaped head soon after you get home from your birth facility. Your baby's gonna have a soft spot on their head on the top and on the back of their head. This is where the skull bones are not fused together and allow for that movement and shaping of the head. We call those soft spots fontanelles. They will eventually close as your baby grows. It's okay to touch the fontanelles, just be gentle, and they should feel flat and not bulging or sunken in. Let's talk about your baby's skin and how it's gonna change, especially over those first few days and weeks. And it'll go into that beautiful baby skin, but initially there's gonna be some changes that you might be surprised by. When your baby's first born, their skin looks a little bluish and gray in color, especially on their hands and on their feet. This is totally normal. As your baby adapts to breathing on their own outside of the uterus, oxygen is being circulated through their system and will eventually cause their skin and lips and nails to become pinker. Their hands and feet are going to be the last place to turn that normal pink color. That bluish, purplish hands and feet, we call that acrocyanosis, and it's totally normal in a healthy newborn. It can take up to 24 to 48 hours for their hands and feet to become pink. Often babies, especially those born before their due date, will have this fine hair all over their body. We call this hair lanugo. The fine hair can be white or dark or no color at all. And it grows on babies as they develop in the womb. It helps to protect their skin in the amniotic fluid. It also helps to regulate their body temperature and hold their heat in. Lanugo usually disappears within a few weeks after birth. Once there was a baby brother who had just seen his newborn little sister, and the first thing he said was, "Why is she so hairy?" But it was because she had a lot of lanugo, that fine baby hair that goes away after a few weeks, and I explained that to him. Many babies are often born too with this lovely white wax-like coating on their body. We call it vernix. Vernix has protected their skin from infection and wrinkles while they were in the womb. And it gives their skin that really nice, soft baby skin. You could think of it kind of as like a natural lotion on their skin, and it doesn't need to be washed off. And it will be absorbed in their skin soon after birth. Your baby's nose is going to have some small white little pimple-like bumps. We call that milia. Milia can be on the baby's cheeks and forehead as well. But don't squeeze these. These are not the whitehead pimples that teenagers get, okay? These should just be left alone, and they're going to go away on their own. Bathing your baby and keeping your baby's skin clean is important, but note that milia will go away on their own. You don't need to do any extra cleaning. Newborns often have blemishes and rashes that we call newborn acne. Again, different than the teenage acne. It's caused by your hormones circulating through the baby. The blemishes and rashes can show up at birth or within those first few weeks. They really like to show up, especially when it's time for those newborn portrait pictures. Don't worry, these two will go away on their own after the first few weeks. The baby's skin may also appear dry and peeling, especially around the hands, feet, and scalp, but this is just the shedding away of dead skin, and it'll soon resolve on its own too. As you can see, your baby's skin goes through a lot of changes initially when they're first born, but within the first few days to weeks of their life, it will turn into that beautiful baby skin you expected. That first moment you get to look in your baby's eyes is such a special time for both you and your baby. When babies are first born, they are very alert and awake, and their eyes are wide open. They're looking around, turning their head towards sounds. They're probably thinking, what the heck just happened here? I just went from this really warm little space, and now I'm here and it's cold and bright. But this is a great moment to really bond with your baby and spend time looking into each other's eyes. Babies can see about 8 to 10 inches away from their face. So this is perfect for when you hold your baby. They can see into your eyes, they can see your face, and you can look into their eyes as well. You should note that newborn babies' eyes may be a little gray, blue, or brown at birth. Babies with dark skin are usually born with dark eyes, and you'll be able to tell their final eye color at about 9 to 12 months. Sometimes babies' eyes look crossed. This is normal, and it should stop at about 3 to 4 months. It's also normal for red spots to appear in the whites of their eyes. This will disappear in about 1 to 2 weeks. After birth, both male and female babies' breasts and genitals may look a little swollen. Their breasts may secrete a little bit of fluid as well, and it's not uncommon to find a small amount of blood-tinged discharge in your baby girl's diaper. Again, this is all normal. This happens because your pregnancy hormones are still circulating through the baby's bloodstream. Again, this will go away within the first few days after birth.